Welcome everybody to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. As you know, 1 Million by 1 Million aims to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million in annual revenue and beyond by 2020, build $1 trillion in global GDP and 10 million jobs. That's our mission, and this mission is predicated upon your success. So only through your success can we reach our success. It's super important for us to continuously bring in serious, committed, resilient entrepreneurs into the program, and we ask for your help in doing that. If you like what you see today, please, by all means, help us get the word around. This is our 141st roundtable, and we also have a contest going on right now that is going to close next week. September 10th is the application deadline for the Trade King Pitch Fest competition for financial entrepreneurs. Now, Trade King is an online brokerage, and they have an API that developers can develop too. What Trade King is inviting developers to do is write applications, trading applications, financial applications, to their API, and they're going to pick 20 finalists of these kinds of businesses to participate in the Pitch Fest on October 4th and October 11th, and we will be awarding 12 scholarships sponsored by Trade King to the 1M1M program based on the judges' decision on who are the winners of the Pitch Fest. So the URL is on your screen. By all means, apply for this program if you're working in financial technology. You will have a recording of this roundtable available, and if you are live tweeting the show, please use hashtag 1M1M. Our two Twitter handles are @1M1M and @Sramana. So those are the handles to follow if you're trying to follow the 1M1M channel. And we have a very heavy content channel. We publish a tremendous amount of content on a regular basis, on a daily basis actually. So you would, if you follow the channel, there is a lot of value in it. So we're going to talk about, first and foremost, we're going to talk about a company called Orenscape that is part of the 1M1M Premium program, and Mani Doraiswamy is the co-founder and CTO of the company. Mani, we're going to talk about KissFlow, which is your new product, but I also need a bit of context because I have been working with Orenscape for almost a couple of years now within the program, but I need a recent, catch up on what's happening with your, with the rest of your business, and where does the KissFlow product line fit into your big picture, and then we can dive into KissFlow and learn about what you're doing there. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So I'll give you a brief background of where we started and why we landed up in the new product called KissFlow in the first place.
Okay.
So as you know, Orenscape is a visual path which allows people to develop, cloud applications in a rapid fashion and deploy it onto any cloud, be it on Google App Engine or on Microsoft Azure. So we had basically two value propositions: to develop cloud applications faster, and then the second one being interoperability across cloud platforms. Now, one of the common use cases that we found while we developed cloud application was this workflow application use case. Because typically what happened was when companies tried to move from their on-premise applications to cloud applications, their first migration migration used to be on the collaboration platform, especially on the mail and docs portion of it. So a large amount of Lotus Notes customers moved from their existing Lotus Notes shop to Google Apps platform. So that was one of the common use cases that we found. When they moved from Lotus Notes to Google Apps, they were not able to migrate their workflows that lived with their Lotus Notes platform. So they had to build these workflows in the cloud environment. So naturally, their choice was to run it on a Google platform. Especially, they tried to build something around the existing scripting that was available in Google Apps, or they tried to migrate onto Google App Engine. So Orenscape provided a way to quickly build these kind of cloud applications on top of Google App Engine. That was the value proposition. Okay. But Orenscape being more broader, because you can develop any business application, it wasn't focused on specifically workflow. The second problem was that we had to do a lot of Google Apps related integration. So what we thought was we will create a specific product focused on workflow, and which comes pre-bundled and pre-integrated with Google Apps, because Google Apps as of today does not have an out-of-the-box workflow product, and KISSFLOW becomes therefore the first workflow product built exclusively for Google Apps. So we made the product much more simpler and easier for the customers to use, so that the ROI of building workflows becomes faster. That's when we started creating this new product called KISSFLOW. So this happened when we started working with a company called United Biscuits in UK. They moved from their Lotus Notes Lotus Notes product onto Google Apps. But before even they moved to Google Apps, they wanted to make sure that their Lotus Notes workflow applications are running on Google App Engine. So in fact, they first migrated onto Orenscape, and then they chose Google Apps. So Google saw that as a great case study, and Google App Engine announced Orenscape as the only partner worldwide for Google App Engine, and that came in TechCrunch as well. So that's the update on Orenscape perspective.
Okay, and the Orenscape business that, well, the Lotus Notes migration business that you were actually, the last we spoke, you were getting a fair amount of traction in that is still continuing, right? The Orenscape product to aid in the migration from Lotus Notes to Google Apps, that revenue channel is still moving well, right?
Yeah, that's moving well. In fact, we recently launched another product called Lotus Notes Accelerator, because if you look at any company, there are four categories of applications. The big chunk of it is workflow applications, obviously. The second one is more related to transactional application, which is not really a workflow application, but these applications also need to be migrated onto cloud. And the third quadrant would be on analytics application, and then on the fourth quadrant you have system integration kind of application, which does human interaction plus system integration kind of application. So we created this Lotus Notes Accelerator to be able to divide applications in an existing enterprise, so that we can bucket it under KISSFLOW or the Orenscape Visual Path, or suggesting at least the customer what they have to do for the analytics application. So that's a larger perspective of, or a big picture perspective of how companies should move from Lotus Notes to the cloud environment. KISSFLOW fits into the first category of workflow category of applications.
Okay. All right. So let's hear about KISSFLOW.
Okay. So I kind of gave you a slight introduction about KISSFLOW already. So basically, the market need is like this. So 4 million businesses have already gone Google. Quite a lot of them are small and medium companies. But once these small and medium companies start using collaboration platform, they will typically send all their approvals part of their mail itself. For example, if you have a travel claim workflow, the travel claim is usually claimed as an attachment plus a mail sent to their manager and then their finance department and so on. But once you reach around 50 employees, then your data embedded in spreadsheets and mails cannot be consolidated. You can't track the workflows or the bottlenecks in the process. Neither can you report the total amount spent on each department and so on and so forth. So that's when you need a workflow solution.
Funny question here. You said 4 million businesses have gone Google. How many of those are above 50 employees?
one of the questions that I wanted to ask you based on your experience, but we are trying to get that information based on the sample set that we have as of now, based on the sign-in.
Okay. So we don't have this data yet.
We don't have the data yet. We have around 550 companies who have signed up already. We are trying to use that as a sample set to find out what is the split up between the 50 employees above, 500 employees above, and less than 50 employees.
Mm-hmm. But that is a self-selected sample set. The fact that they have signed up for a workflow product would mean that they have some workflow issues to tackle, right?
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. Do you have any suggestion as to where we should go to get this data?
What is Google publishing in terms of when Google publishes Gartner reports and stuff like that about their Google Apps category of business? Are they offering statistics on how much of their business is focused on SMEs versus how do they categorize the segmentation?
Their category is based on verticals as of now, based on universities. Universities form a large chunk of their business as of now. They haven't published the SMB versus mid-market versus large segment as of now.
Yeah. So, at some level, what is the pricing, by the way? I know I'm kind of jumping all over and spoiling the flow of your presentation. Why don't you finish your presentation and I'll hold my question?
Sure, no problem. I have pricing also part of the slide, so
okay.
If you want, you can also finish. You want to do that, or?
No, you keep going based on your flow of the presentation. I will hold my questions till the end.
Fine. So this is what we found as the market problem when we started working with the workflow, the companies which had workflow needs. So typically a process owner, he can put together very simple data capture application on top of Google Apps himself, especially if you use Google Forms and Google Spreadsheets. You can put together very simple data capture applications which you can use it for doing surveys, right from capturing customer feedback to even, for example, getting the choice of what is the weekend movie and so on. But all of these things can be built by the business user himself, right? But once you're
the 550 signups that you have, are these business users, and what kind of workflow processes that they are trying to build with your tool?
Yeah, all of them are significant amount of them are from IT, but some of them are from business users, especially if you look at the smaller companies. Pretty much the company's head of the department or the CEO himself comes and tries the process. That's what we have seen.
Okay.
So while we are saying it is
finance processes, approval of invoice kind of process, what kind of processes are you seeing them gravitate towards? Do you have any segmentation around that based on your sample?
Yeah, significant amount of them are on HR.
HR, okay.
HR and admin processes.
Interesting. That's actually good feedback. Take note of that because it may be easier to attract those customers.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So on one hand, you have this data capture application. Once you start, having complex application requirements, especially like workflow, then on the other hand, you have Google App Engine, which needs developers to come in and build applications on top of Python and Java and understand concepts like SQL or big tables. This is a steep jump from being a self-service mode of Google Apps to creating applications on top of a restricted environment on Google App Engine is a steep jump. So that's where KissFlow comes in. Basically, KissFlow leverages the power of Google App Engine and it runs on Cloud SQL because Cloud SQL is a MySQL-based database, and we felt enterprises will be more comfortable with the standard RDBMS rather than going for a big table, which is hard for data export and import and even for a skill set standpoint. So Kissflow runs on top of Google App Engine and Cloud SQL, but it has a very similar user experience as Google Apps. So it's very easy to create workflows. By having a very easy workflow, we also made sure not very complex workflows can be built on top of Kissflow. So it's only targeted for simple and medium workflows. The complex ones, either in terms of very complex sub-processes or the ones which have system integration, they are candidates for Orenscape Visual Path and not for Kissflow. So Kissflow is basically about keeping it simple and smart workflow. That's why it's named as Kissflow.
So Orenscape is basically the Orenscape product line is for enterprises. Kissflow is for smaller business users.
Actually, even in large enterprises, we are seeing a lot of traction. The difference is in large enterprises, there is this 80% and 20% split. So 80% of the workflows are typically very easy, but the amount of time spent for building that in a typical workflow, even on top of Orenscape Visual Path, is still high. People want to put together workflow applications in hours or even in less than an hour or so. That's where Kissflow comes in. But there are this 20% of the workflow which are complex in nature. That's where Orenscape comes in. So even in large companies, we see this need between both Kissflow as well as Orenscape.
So both products are across the. Actually, Kissflow is across the board. Orenscape is large companies only.
Yeah, that's right. Because Orenscape needs probably SIs to come in and do the integration with other systems also, right? So small companies don't afford that. Now Kissflow has two perspectives. Everything runs on web. You don't have to install anything, but there are two kinds of roles that you will have in a company. One is the process creator, who is responsible for creating the process, and the other person, once he creates this process and then publishes it to the users, the end users, who is the other role, will be responsible for initiating this workflow and also participating in the workflow. Okay. So from a process creator's perspective, we have created Kissflow in a very simple 5-step wizard. You don't have to go into the technical complexity of how to define workflow. Instead, it guides you through the 5 steps. First, you name the process, and then you tell which is the group of users in the company who will be able to initiate the workflow. Then in the second step, you define the form. This form is about capturing the data elements that you want to capture for the workflow. Then the third step, you define the workflows, and fourth step, you configure permissions, saying in each of the activity, what is the permission that has to be given for the form. Maybe, for example, everything has to be read-only, or everything has to be editable and stuff, so on and so forth. In the fifth step, you publish it. That's basically the process creator's perspective. Okay. So from a user's perspective, this looks very similar to Google Apps, especially the Gmail portion. So you will be able to see on the left-hand side the workflow participation tasks. For example, I can approve the request. If you look at it, there is an option to approve requests, provide input, and clarify queries. For users who want to initiate a new workflow, you can click on the initiate request and then initiate a workflow. So once you initiate a workflow, on the other screen I have showed how the user interface looks like. This is a common inbox. So irrespective of the various workflows that you initiate, it all comes in a single inbox. So basically we call it as a common inbox. So you can click on the item and you can see the whole screen is integrated with Google environment. For example, I can click on attach docs and then I can attach the Google Docs that are already available. So this is again one of the common requirements asked by the customer, and none of the workflow products today in the market satisfies this requirement. You have to spend a lot of time writing integration code or doing connectors to pull the information from Google environment into the workflow environment, because there is no exclusive product for Google Apps. So we built right from sign-in to document management system right into the core of Google Apps. So the end users don't have to worry about, or even the process owners don't have to worry about integrating with Google Apps.
Okay.
That's basically the difference. Now, in the next slide, I've talked about the product pricing that you've already asked for. It's free for 10 users forever. It's basically for startups to get used to it, or even for big companies when they want to try it out. They can try it for free, and then once it works for one team or two, then they can go ahead and use the standard version. The free version actually is more like a teaser because, as I mentioned earlier, only 50 users and above companies will actually have the need, but then we want to make sure that people can try it out before they go for the standard version.
And the sample that you're working with, how are they starting to pay, or is it too early? What is the status right now?
Yeah, it's too early right now, so we haven't even enabled the billing module yet. It's been 1.5–2 months now. So there are around 550 companies who have signed up, but none of them have started paying yet. Some of the companies have asked for pricing already. Again, the numbers are the ones that are above 1,000, and some of the companies around 200, 500 numbers have asked specifically for pricing.
Okay.
So we said we will do the billing module probably by the end of next month, and then we will announce the customer acquisition.
Okay.
So
that was my next question. Go ahead.
Yeah. So there is this enterprise version we haven't announced. So basically, we wanted to make sure we announce KissFlow and get customers who are willing to buy KissFlow as a individual product. The enterprise version is the one that fits into the big picture of what I was explaining earlier. Using the Lotus Notes accelerator, you can basically divide the workflow applications into different quadrants, and the simple and medium workflows will come into KissFlow, and the complex ones and business applications will come in Orangescape Visual Path. So you need to have a better integration with Visual Path and KissFlow. So that's why we have kept the enterprise version as of now as upcoming version.
Okay.
So from the competitor standpoint, the primary competition is from RunMyProcess and Cardis. Both of them are European companies. RunMyProcess, I think, is a French company, and Cardis, I think, it's again a European company. Both of them are part of Google Apps Marketplace, so they become the primary competition. This is for companies who have already migrated to Google Apps and they are looking for workflow solutions. The secondary competition is basically, if you look at SharePoint, Microsoft SharePoint, when a company is migrating from Lotus Notes to cloud, you have these two competitors, which is either they choose between Google Apps or Microsoft Office 365. Microsoft Office 365 has an edge because they have this SharePoint portal which closely integrates with Office 365, and obviously it's exclusive because it's from Microsoft. But Google Apps does not have an exclusive workflow product which can work well together. So that's where we think by having Google Apps and KissFlow, it can offset the threat by Office 365 and SharePoint. That's how we see it.
I have a comment here. SharePoint, however, is a lot more than a workflow product, right?
Right, yeah. SharePoint has two portions. One is the content management and the other one the workflow management. So Google already takes care of the content management using Google Sites. What we will complement Google's offering is the workflow portion of SharePoint.
Well, and also there is Yammer coming onto SharePoint as well. So really this, if you look at the time frame in which you're going to have to play in the market, this picture will include Yammer on the Microsoft bucket.
Okay. Okay.
Because Microsoft has acquired Yammer, and that's part of their whole Office, small business collaboration, not just small businesses in general. It's basically being purchased as an extension or as an enhancement to SharePoint.
Right, right.
That's something you have to take into account. I mean, I'm sure Google is taking that into account. Just be aware of, not getting blindsided by something that happens. So keep that in mind when you're doing product strategy.
Got it.
And what is your differentiation or positioning against Run My Process and Cordis?
Yeah, so Run My Process, so I've listed down, if you go to the next slide, Sramana. Sorry, next one. Yeah, so this is our differentiator. It's the first workflow product built exclusively for Google Apps. So it has out-of-the-box integration with all the Google products, be it Google Docs or collaborating with users and groups. For example, if you have to develop a workflow in using any of this workflow products, like for example Run My Process or Cordis, there is this concept of roles, because you can't assign a user directly to a workflow activity. The role is then mapped onto a particular user base. It could be Microsoft ADS or Google Apps group, right? All this complexity you have to code it in and you have to synchronize, because the workflow product does not natively support that particular application, that particular product it needs to work with. By building a product which is exclusively for Google Apps, we take care of all the complexity. So the ROI that the customer will realize will be much faster. So for example, in the case of United Biscuits, we had to spend 1.5 months both with the integration architect as well as solution architect to come up with the common inbox and to integrate with Google Apps. This 1.5 months of integration and solution architecturing would have cost them anywhere between $500,000, and it's a pretty steep ROI if they have to invest in a new platform. So that's what we intend to cut. And the other one is it's very simple and it's easy to build workflows, especially using this 5-step wizard process. So again, on an ongoing basis also, if you have to develop a process, it is significantly faster to develop using KISSflow. And the third one is all of these products run on their own platform. So a customer has already chosen Google platform. So instead of going ahead with another third-party platform, running it on Google App Engine and Cloud SQL gives them a single homogeneous dependability on Google Cloud Platform, which they have already wedded with.
Okay. Okay. Good.
And these are the timelines of the events that happened. So we launched KISSflow at Google I/O. Obviously, we launched it with all the support from Google I/O. It was launched in the prime session of Google App Engine overview session. This was in San Francisco on Google I/O session. And then it was also covered by TechCrunch. This also happened on the same date. So once we launched, because of the coverage we got around 300 companies across 64 countries signing up for KISSflow in the first week alone. All of them obviously used it for free, but it gave us significant amount of insights into what's the interest level of companies across different geographies, and also, as I mentioned, the admin and HR process, the ones that they created, gave us more insights into the use cases.
And where are these companies from? What is the concentration? US primarily? Yeah,
US and Europe. Significant amount of them are when we launched it at Google I/O was from US, but very interestingly, after the I/O, a lot of European customers came in. I'm not very sure about the reason, but after the I/O release, a lot of European companies came in.
And Mani, here's a question for you. I don't know if you've done this analysis. Do you see recognizable names of large enterprises in this 550 customers that have signed up?
Yeah, around 10 of them are quite large.
Okay. So those 10 are potentially larger opportunities that combines KISSflow and OrangeScape, yes?
Yeah. So I haven't talked to them about OrangeScape yet because some of them came as a first-time user into KISSflow. They haven't used OrangeScape at all, but some of them in that had already an existing OrangeScape connect.
Right. So I think the thing to note here is there is one it's, if you do good marketing, and we haven't talked about your go-to-market strategy for KissFlow other than the Google App Marketplace. We need to discuss that, but if you do good marketing for KissFlow, that could also be a lead generation engine for larger deals in those large companies which combines Orangescape and KissFlow potentially.
Right, got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So now talk to me a bit about how you're going to market with this right now.
Right. So the way in which we are working on this is we are doing this lead generation as of now. So we have 3 steps in which we are trying to do. One is we are doing joint events with Google. So Google has been giving us several stage on not just in Google I/O, but they have been giving stage on G days as well. So
okay.
That's one thing that we are doing from a marketing standpoint. The second one is we are having 3 levels of qualification of the people who sign up. So when you come into KissFlow, people sign up with just their individual Google Apps account. So they can't sign in with Gmail, although we capture them whenever they sign in with Gmail. We don't allow them to use the product. We ask them to log in with their Google Apps ID. So once they are registered using that, we ask them to add KissFlow from Google Apps Marketplace. To add KissFlow from Google Apps Marketplace, you need to have an administrative account. So that would mean that they are getting some level of support within their manager or within their administrative system, and there is an interest level that has gone up once they have started using it individually. So that's the second level of metrics that we are tracking. Once they add it in Google Apps Marketplace, we are tracking the returning users. So we are keeping the returning user metrics as one thing.
Mani, that's not my question. The question you're answering is how you are tracking things and what are the metrics. But the question I'm asking is, how do people get to know about KissFlow? So TechCrunch, this article, the Google I/O, and maybe some of these Google events is one way that people are getting to know that KissFlow exists. What are some of the other mechanisms you are using to get the word out there that KissFlow exists?
Okay, so there are certain things that we have done. I wouldn't say they are all great, but we did 3 things. One is the SEO portion. We are specifically targeting Google Apps workflow as a specific keyword.
Okay.
That SEO we are doing.
The second one, a large search volume keyword?
It's not a large search volume keyword. It's only around 500 hits per month, but we feel that that's a very targeted market, because when they search for workflow for Google Apps, really is
that's a very targeted. Yes, it's a long tail keyword. Good. Okay.
So this is something that we are targeting. The other 2 are approval workflow and simple workflow, but that will have very less turnout, because not all of them would be Google Apps customers.
That's right. Yes.
So that's one thing that we did. We are currently around 7th to 8th ranking inside Google Apps workflow. So we haven't commented. We were initially at around 6th page because of the PR announcement and blogs. Now we have moved to the 2nd page, and finally this week we are in 6th, 7th position. In the
what does it entail to get you higher up in the Google universe?
In terms of SEO?
Well, within the Google application engine or application marketplace, to get higher ranking, how long does it take?
Yeah, so there are 2 metrics in which, the SEO is based on Google Apps Marketplace's ranking, because Google Apps Marketplace workflow category is the one that comes up at the top, and as of now, Run My Process is the one that's coming up first, because they are the ones who are there in the first place in the Google Apps Marketplace. So Google Apps Marketplace lists workflow products based on 2 metrics. One is based on the top installs. The other one is based on the top rating that is given by the customers. So that is the reason why we are combining the migrating the users who signed up into adding KISSFlow from inside Google Apps Marketplace, so that we can come up on top in the top.
This one is a matter of time. These 550 users that you're working with, as they start getting value and start giving you good ratings and so forth, that process will move you further up, hopefully, presumably.
Right. Okay. There is some problem with Google Apps Marketplace as well, because it's not reflecting the correct numbers. But yeah, I mean, anyway, we have to get that process started out with Google. We are already working with Google on that.
Okay. All right, got it.
The other one is the PR releases and the bloggers we talk to. So we have been consistently talking to bloggers and asking them to write reviews about KISSFlow. There are around 8 to 9 bloggers who have written about KISSFlow as of now.
Okay.
To improve both credibility as well as the ranking on SEO.
Okay.
And then we have been doing some PR releases as well.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Of course, today, based on this discussion, you're going to get coverage in our recap. But I've also asked Candice to work with Suresh and perhaps yourself to on a profile on the company, covering KISSFlow and Ornscape, which we are going to carry as part of our. I think I don't know if you're probably not on our mailing list. Suresh is.
Okay.
The premium member mailing list that sends out the regular emails, the communication to the 1M1M premium members. There's a lot of material that we sent out in the last couple of days on how to use the 1M1M channel for PR. So you should go ahead and check that out, and we'll cover you more. We'll look for opportunities of where we can cover you. We've already scheduled you for one article. Besides today's recap, you will also have coverage based on that schedule. So make sure you provide the material to Candice to do that. And can you send me an email with a list of the blogs that have reviewed your reviewed the product actually right after this call, because I'd like to include some of that in the recap that I write today, so that we can basically cross leverage that material.
Okay.
And then I think absolutely this guerrilla PR is one of the key methods of getting the word out there. But we also need to look for some other ways of how you go from 500 customers to 5,000 customers.
Right. If you go to the next slide, I have this listed as well. The questions about the problems that we just mentioned. After the launch and TechCrunch coverage, we saw a lot of traction in market, but we haven't seen the same amount of traction after we left US. So the PR strategy is something that I wanted to ask you.
So you guys have been using Discover.org, right, as a lead generation tool.
Okay.
I know this because Suresh had shared this with me a while ago. Now, Discover.org is supposed to provide you with what is the IT environment that the company, the prospect company, operates in. So my guess is you could probably run some queries within Discover.org to find Google Apps customers or Lotus Notes customers trying to move to Google Apps and so forth. At least some approximation. Can you play with those queries and the filters to see if you can get to a more granular number?
Right. So we are doing that already, but we are doing that for existing customers who have already registered for KISSFlow. Do you want me to do that for customers who haven't registered, and do you want me to do a push marketing, or?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
You can, based on that, if you can do the filtering of that database and find the Google Apps customers from there, and then run, the full cycle of email marketing, lead nurturing, and the whole Sales 2.0 process that we recommend on that, I think that's something that would start, one, that will start giving you the numbers, and two, I think that will proactively give you a way to let people know about your existence who are really within the sweet spot of where you need to be.
Okay.
So I would say, in terms of your second question, what market should you focus on for paying customers? Mid-sized companies and large enterprises, with the understanding that when you see large enterprises, you should run a slightly different messaging on the campaign, because the larger enterprises are prospects for some of the large enterprises. Again, you're going to have to segment and find out which ones using Discover.org are the right targets for that. But some of these large enterprises are going to be customers for the full OrangeScape suite, including KISSFlow. The mid-sized companies probably are KISSFlow only.
Okay.
You have to segment them and run separate campaigns so that the messaging is different.
Okay. Right.
And I'm not sure if there is any vertical specific nuance to this.
Okay.
Seems like a completely horizontal product to me. And then on your question about positioning against primary competitors, you need to talk to customers who are evaluating your product versus those other products, and especially the ones who are choosing you. You need to talk to them and find out why they're choosing you and what are the positioning points based on which they're choosing you. So as soon as you have 20, 30 customers that are right now in your pilot, in your sample set, and who are evaluating your product, and by talking to them, you need to figure out what else are they evaluating and what are the criteria on which you are winning. Those are going to become your positioning points. So the ones who are asking for price quotes, those are good companies to go start talking to about these things, and actually have phone conversations, not just electronic conversations.
Okay. Got it.
Secondary competitors, Microsoft SharePoint, that's a more complex positioning, because that is a positioning that Google needs to come up with.
Okay.
Because as I said, remember, the SharePoint plus Yammer offering is becoming very powerful. So how is Google planning to counter that? This is a question you should ask Google.
Okay.
But you are part of the Google offering here. On your own, it's hard for you to compete against Microsoft.
Okay, that was good. Got it.
Yeah.
So we should spend time only on the primary competitors. It should be Google's effort to spend time on the second competitor.
Yes, but you should continue to talk to Google on that. And then in terms of PR strategy, you should continue doing the guerrilla PR with the blogs, and we will work with you on some of the PR work as well. So take a look at what we've sent out yesterday and see how you can leverage that. Come to us with compelling stories and so forth, and we will try to bring you into other venues. We have a whole bunch of venues where we have now syndication opportunities.
Okay. Thanks,
okay.
Sramana. So yeah. So for me, the action items are I'll send you the blog reference, and then I will look at the materials that you have already sent to Suresh on the previous.
By the way, there is an audience comment, which is a very good comment. Rags Rajagopalan is pointing out that given the traction in HR verticals, shouldn't majority of marketing and sales be focused on that? This is an interesting point that he's raising, is that you said when I asked you the question, where are most of the applications, the workflow applications, or workflow processes, you said HR. So it sounds like HR workflows is something that you can create actually specific PR around. So not only should you go to the blogs that are covering workflow, look at the HR blogs and go run a guerrilla marketing campaign on HR blogs around this topic. HR workflow. That make sense?
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. You have a lot of action items, and keep me posted so that we can do more things with what you're doing and help you move your process forward.
Sure.
Okay.
Thanks a
well,
lot.
Thank you,
for your time.
Good luck. Robert, you're up next. So folks, just one pointer here. We normally do not spend this much time on one company, but Orenscape, the parent company of KissFlow that money represents, is a 1M1M premium company. So premium companies always get special treatment.
Okay, no problem. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, my name is Rob Carpenter. Out of East Orange, New Jersey, by the way of Newark, New Jersey. And I came up with a concept called the Civic Card. The Civic Card mechanism was designed to help retail leakage in local communities. Retail leakage is when people are spending money outside the communities at the big stores like Target, Walmart, and various different stores. And what we did, we came up with a card, which is a debit card, an upload with prepaid Infinity card, which has an app to it. And what the card does is it allows the residents in the local community to drive to local stores that are part of the membership or not part of the membership to offer discounts at the merchants' concerns. And what we use the app as a flow system. If you go to the next chart, because my presentation wasn't long. The basis of the funding initiative to add value to inner cities. Our group is community-based position to help foster a stronger link between merchants and the communities they serve. The premise is simple. Consumers need to save money while helping their community prosper. A business wants to increase their revenue stream within the same community. You can go to the next. The Civic Card is positioned to strengthen and foster a stronger link between the merchants. So what the card does is, when you're looking for a place to offer you a discount, you can download our app, go online, register, or you can call in, and once you register for it, the bank sends you the card. And then on the app and through our directory online or offline, we offer all the discounts at the participating stores. And throughout hopefully right now we're doing a pilot program with these doing, and we expect to expand across the country. What the app does, it has a GPS system, and it shows you all the restaurants, clothing stores, businesses that offer you the discount with the Civic Card. And also with the Civic Card, we have what you call an RX program. If you go to the first link, you have the RX program. You have life insurance that's written up as energy saving, and the card also offers credit repair. These are three programs that, as a card holder, you can opt into to save money. If you're a senior citizen, you have the RX program, or if you're just anybody who goes to get prescription on a daily basis, the RX program offers you 45 to 60% discount at 54,000 pharmacies across the country. The energy saving, we created a team of energy commodity guys that goes in and identify which company can offer you a discount on your energy saving. And the credit repair, we did an affiliate program where we can help you build out or correct your credit if you're in bad credit. And life insurance, we offer for $9.99 a month. We give you a whole life insurance up to $7,000. If you go to the next page. And how the Civic Card app works, there's two ways you can opt in. As a resident, you can opt in, and you can sign up, and you can get the Civic Card sent to your home. And or as a merchant, you can opt in, and you can be part of the system, and you put in what discount you're going to offer the businesses. And then we also send you a Civic Card also that you can use at the stores in your local community. So the Civic Card whole concept has been designed to be more prosperous in inner cities where across the country, President Obama has started this sustainable city. And with sustainable cities, what they're trying to do is they're trying to build out small businesses, because small businesses is what builds out the economy. So what I try to do is create a mechanism that helps the small businesses and at the same time helps the consumer. So I've been traveling around, going to groups like Bali, the Boat in New York, and Ben talks about buy local and all the buy local groups. I've been connecting with them and using this mechanism as a mechanism to drive their local drive business for their local merchants, and to also educate the consumer that they should buy local. And that's really it.
So, you know, this concept, if this is just a concept, is it a business or a concept at this point?
It's a business. We kick off at this point in time. We have the agreement with the bank. We have the card already in place. We did a test drive to a discount card, and we was getting thousands of members. So what we did, we moved it to a debit card, and as of December, the city of East Orange is taking it as a pilot program, and they're going to give their residents a card to use in their local economy. So we've been collecting all the businesses through the UEZ, the Urban Enterprise Zone. So, and it's free to the consumer and it's free to the merchant. All we do is stick a sticker in the window saying that we accept the Civic card, and the directory, the catalog directs the consumer to the discount stores and the app and the online directory.
So what is the business model of your business?
When you say business model, our business model is to hold on for 1 second. Our business model is to drive local businesses and to drive consumers to the local businesses and
that's not a business model. That's not a business model. Business model is how your business makes money.
Oh, my fault. How my business make money? We make money of 5 or 6 different ways. 6 different ways. One way we make money through the swipe and the credit card swipe. We share the funding between the bank. The bank and I split the funding. The second part is the advertising and marketing. The third part is the credit repair, the energy saving, and the RX program. And then the other part is that we offer 3 tiers of marketing. So when you first come in, you get it for free. If you're a business and you want to do marketing, or you want to cross brand with the card, or if you want to be by adding the directory, or you want to expand your marketing on the app or on our online directory, we offer that for a cost.
And are you in a position to be able to pilot this and show that this is working in one location?
Yes, ma'am.
Without funding?
No. What I have done is I have used in the beginning. In the beginning of my testing, I've used my own personal funding. Now, I'm for the city of East Orange. They want to use their downtown district, which is a group called KBID, the Central Avenue Business District, which gets 2% of the downtown development, 2% of the taxes that come into the city for downtown development. They want to use a percentage of that to put this program out in the city of East Orange.
So this concept, I don't think, is at a fundable stage right now. It needs to be fleshed out, and there's a, for something to be investment ready, there's a set of topics that need to be fleshed out in a lot of depth.
And what is that?
The way you answer my question, how does this business make money, is too vague and 30,000 feet.
Well,
investors. Can you let me finish, please?
Okay, go ahead.
So that kind of answers don't convince investors. And then the other thing is today's market pretty much requires that you do some amount of validation of your assumptions with a small pilot. And the only way you can get to some sort of a pilot is by using friends and family kind of funding or Kickstarter type of funding, something that is outside of the mainstream investment drag. because nobody knows whether this concept is going to work or not. And what would it take? What kind of marketing dollars it would take to get to something of the sort? The moment you're trying to work with millions of small merchants and consumers and bringing them together, these are very, very capital-intensive ideas. We've already seen a number of these highly capital-intensive ideas, Groupon, Yelp, Angie's List, and none of them are actually terribly successful in the public market. So investors are somewhat wary of that. And the kind of capital it takes to build these businesses, to acquire customers and so forth, is very high.
The reason I asked you that was because when I put together the presentation, and maybe I didn't think you guys wanted me to present a full presentation. I just grabbed a piece of stuff and put it together. But we did a stress test on it. One of my partners who graduated from the Wharton School of Business did a stress test on it, and also we did a full presentation and projection of how it works and how it goes. So when I came to do the presentation, I didn't know you wanted to the full extent of the full presentation. I just wanted what you wanted just to understand, that just the premises of it.
Well, you know, what you've presented so far does not give me the confidence that you have the meat behind this business, frankly. You know, I have looked at lots of presentations. I have a lot of experience with very short presentations. I can feel out how much meat there is behind it. And my guidance to you is that you're going to need to really flesh this out in a lot more granular detail. So one possibility is, since whatever geography you want to start with, go to the city council, or the mayor of the city or somewhere, and start working with the city, and maybe the city can give you some money to pilot it and get this together.
I just told you the city is financing it as of December.
Sorry, I missed it. You're very difficult to understand.
That's what I said to you. I said the Central Avenue Business District is paying. They have 68,000 residents that live in the city in East Orange, New Jersey, and the mayor is already.
How much funding? Sorry, I cannot understand half the things that you're saying. How much money has the city invested in your project so far?
Already, they haven't invested monetary funding, but they have positioned me in office space and the ability to use copiers and equipment and stuff.
That's not called investment. Investment is dollars.
I know, but in December they're giving me $22,000 to put it on the ground.
$22,000 to do what?
To start to begin the process to put it on the ground. Just to cover the small advertising in their city and to pay for the cards that are delivered to their residents.
Okay, so $22,000 is real investment?
Yes, ma'am.
You've got $22,000 from the city to test it on the city, and
yes,
how many merchants are participating in this process right now?
They have 1,000 merchants. We already have collected 350 merchants just in the city of East Orange and 400 in North.
And which city is this?
East Orange, New Jersey.
And how many consumers are part of the process?
Right now there's 68,000 consumers that flow through the city of East Orange. After December, when we start approaching the consumers on the guerrilla marketing, we're going to go door to door. The city of Orange used to have another group that used to give a discount card to everybody in the city, which was 65,000 people. So what they're going to do, they're going to convert those 65,000 people to cardholders.
But that's all going to, so why don't you flesh this thing out and see if the two parts come together, and what does it take you to make these two things come together? And since you've already got good relations with the city, so continue to work with the city and build out your idea. So what we need to see is a pilot where you can actually say that this is what's happening. This is how many merchants are in the program. This is how many consumers are in the program. This is, these are the kinds of discounts we're able to offer. This is how you, as the company, are making money, right? So right now, you seem to be on the right path, and you also have got a city partner who's willing to work with you, is willing to give you money, and so forth. So take all of those things into account and keep executing on it, and come to a pilot so that you can specifically show these numbers.
Okay.
And once that is in place, there is a very, very active funding scene in New York right now. Since you're in New Jersey, that would be the most natural place for you to go look for funding.
Well, I've been the president of the Social Innovators in New York, named David Geese. He's been my mentor, so he said the same thing to me. He wants me to build it out until December, and then he's going to put me in the office in Midtown Manhattan, and he's going to make me. Social Innovators came out of Canada. It's a group that came out of Canada, and what they do is they build out.
That's all random stuff. What I'm saying is, there is a very active investment community, angels, venture capitalists, blah, 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 in New York at the moment. And there are avenues of how to get to that community. We can guide you on how to do that. But my point is, you're not ready to go there quite yet.
Okay.
You probably in the next month you will be ready, but you really need to get get these pieces together and really show a fully fleshed out concept, and backed up by a pilot before you can go talk to these investors. That's my recommendation.
Okay, and I apologize for not sending you the complete presentation, because
Don't bother. I'm going to look at it.
All right. And no, I was just saying I apologize because I didn't know you was that in depth with this, with how you guys present.
No, you need to learn to present what you need to present in a very short time, but with the right points. Right now, your presentation does not follow a proper presentation framework. That's okay. I've got the concept. I understand what you're trying to do, and we are very used to working with very early stage entrepreneurs and guiding them on how to put one foot before the other and get to the next level. So it's not a problem that you don't have all your ducks lined up quite yet, but you need to get there. That's the real point.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about 1M1M and how you can use the program. And if you decide to join the program, then you will know what you can expect in the premium program. So before we do that, again, I want to reiterate my request from earlier on. If you find what we are doing useful and of value, please introduce 1M1M to at least 10 serious entrepreneurs in your network. This is very important because our entire program depends on your help in getting the word around. All right, so the website where your search begins is 1mby1m.com in terms of what resources we have put together. The first thing that is a completely free resource is our blog, and that blog covers lots of case studies, trend information, educational information, informational information that you can take advantage of completely free. And then the second level is the Entrepreneur Journeys book series. This is all based on case studies and analysis and synthesis. And there are 4 volumes of Entrepreneur Journeys book series out so far, and they're all available on Amazon and Kindle internationally, and in India you can get it from Flipkart. There are 2 specific and very important cornerstone ideas or methodologies that we treat as sacred in the methodology of 1M1M. One is bootstrapping, the other is positioning. And we will require that you learn these 2 mechanisms in great detail and great depth, and we teach you that both through the book series and in a much deeper way in the premium program curriculum. So the blog is at sramanamitra.com. Also, we have these free roundtables every Thursday almost, except when I'm traveling. We are on our 141st roundtable. Over 10,000 people have attended. We've coached hundreds of entrepreneurs, so we have a very deep understanding of the issues in the lives of early stage entrepreneurs. And what we have done is created the premium program so that you can very efficiently get assistance for those issues. So we've taken all these issues that we have learned about through the years, and we've also developed over the last 6 years the best and most intense comprehensive collection of case studies in technology-enabled service entrepreneurship, and these are case studies of successes of entrepreneurs. So people who have built at least $5 million companies, many have built $100 million, $200 million, billion-dollar companies, and we've created a video lectures and case studies based curriculum that would help you address these issues and get to the next level very quickly. So for example, if you are getting ready for investment, if you want to get ready for investment, what do you need to know? There are modules that will teach you very efficiently, very quickly what you need to know and what you need to put together to get ready for an investment round. We also have these kinds of strategy consulting sessions, mentoring sessions, coaching sessions, whatever you call them, these roundtables effectively, as part of the premium program for members only, and these are more in-depth roundtables, and the combination of the curriculum and these roundtables give you a lot more leverage. There's several hundred hours of curriculum material to go along with these roundtables at this point. So when you come talk to me at roundtables, after going through a lot of the curriculum material or start asking questions within the curriculum itself, you have the benefit of the curriculum helping you move along. We also help you with business development, customer relationships, where we have contacts. We introduce you to customers, prospective customers, channel partners. Just this week, one of our companies was introduced to 15 absolutely top-level contacts that are potential customers for them. I think I made the introduction around 11 o'clock in the morning. By the end of the day, they already have 5 responses requesting demos. So that's a very high hit rate. 30% hit rate is a very, very high hit rate. So these kinds of things happen within our program quite, regularly. We also encourage you to get with channel partners who can help you, get access to their customer base. So as you saw, Orenscape is working very closely with Google, and we have this happening also. Again, people, we guide you on how to build these customer relationships, close customer relationships by developing, partnership strategies and positioning that helps you crack the code on these partnerships. And we also help you with financing, with the caveat that you have to be fundable. You have to be ready for financing before we are willing to introduce you to investors. And there's also a process of financing that you need to learn. And again, we teach you the process. Finally, we are doing a lot of work in media and analyst relations. We have a number of syndicated columns and all sorts of media relationships which we put to work on your behalf, and that's also very valuable because ultimately PR and media is very important for entrepreneurs because people need to know that you exist before they can buy your product. So unless people know that you exist, they won't even think about buying your product. So it's extremely important to do extensive PR and media work for all startups. So all this, by the way, comes for the $1,000 annual membership fee, and it's unlimited usage of the program once you're a member of the 1M1M program. Now, one thing I would point you to as part of your calibration process is the 1M1M self-assessment. So make sure you go through the self-assessment, and if you're a premium member, the self-assessment actually gives you modules to work with, where we teach you on those topics that we are asking you assessment questions on. So if you have gaps in your understanding of any of those processes, you can go ahead and fill those gaps. Again, the site is 1m1m.com. You can also look at the top right corner where we have FAQs and video FAQs and description of the premium program on the black bar on top. So those are places where you'll have more comprehensive discussions, lots of your questions answered. Now, our methodology is lean, capital-efficient, bootstrap startups. We don't work with companies who straight out of the gate want to raise huge amounts of money and are not willing to do bootstrapping in the early stages of the business, because today's market does not write large checks out of the gate unless you have done some level of validation. So it's not because we don't want you to go raise funding, it's because the market doesn't permit raising funding without a lot of bootstrap groundwork. So that is the state of the art in the market, state of the union in the market, and we just follow the market and we guide you to be successful in the current conditions of the market. If we were sitting in, let's say summer of 1999, people would write checks based on a concept. Robert Carpenter's concept, we could take it to an investor in 1999, and there's a reasonable chance that we would get funding. But that's not the case today, and that's just not going to, most likely not going to be the case anytime soon. Okay, so here's a quick description of what the curriculum is organized like. So that we have two portions of the curriculum. Approximately, you could say 50 hours of core curriculum, 50 hours of elective curriculum, and then some. But to really get a handle of the core curriculum, we try to take you through 7 core topics, which every entrepreneur should master. That's bootstrapping, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, financing, customer acquisition, and team building. On the elective side, we focus on the trends of the industry and where we see lots of companies these days: Web 3.0 and e-commerce, cloud computing and business solutions, outsourcing and consulting, mobile and social apps, healthcare IT, online education, gaming. This is where we see activity. We don't really do much in clean tech, semiconductor, and EDA, or systems, or biotech, for instance, because those are capital-intensive businesses, and we're not good at that, and we don't have a methodology that supports that. The funding cycles of those are extremely difficult, and it's not where our expertise is. So, as I said, we teach the curriculum with case studies of several hundred successful entrepreneurs and video lectures. And you will, if you budget the time to go through the curriculum, your knowledge and understanding of what you need to do to put one foot before the other is going to be vastly enhanced. For those of you who are entrepreneurship development organizations in different parts of the world, we have a very comprehensive affiliate program. And, this is, we pay 10% affiliate commission for those partners who work in different geographies with us. And the upcoming free roundtables are, next week we have one, September 13th is our 142nd roundtable. After that, I'm traveling for a couple of weeks. And then October 4th and 11th, we have the Trade King contest finals, which I talked about earlier. Trade King, just a reminder, is an online brokerage. And Trade King is inviting developers to write apps on the Trade King API. And they will offer go-to-market channel through the Trade King customer base and a membership to the 1M1M program. They're offering scholarships to the 1M1M program. So 20 finalists will be chosen and 12 scholarships will be awarded. The finals are October 4th and October 11th. And then October 18th is our 145th roundtable. And that's the last one in October, actually last pure online roundtable in October. We have some in-person roundtables in October during my travels to India. I'm headed to India in October. Okay, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to use the public chat to ask your questions, and I'll be happy to answer. Anyone, any questions? Janaki, I'm going to be in India October 20th. I think I'm reaching October 20th, and I will be in India in different parts of India until November 4th. I'm leaving on November 4th. I will be at TaiCon in Kerala this year, So if you're planning to attend SciCon in Kerala, I will be speaking there, and definitely that would be a very good opportunity for us to get connected. We are also working on an event, a contest actually in Calcutta on November 1st. So stay tuned, keep your eye out for that. That's pretty much what I have on the roster. Yeah, SciCon this year is in Kerala, Janaki, in Cochin, October 25th and 26th. Yeah? You have another question? Go ahead. What is my definition of a channel partner? A channel partner is somebody who has access to the customers that you are targeting and would be willing to sell your product as an extension of their product portfolio. Do you understand, Janaki? So, in what you heard earlier today, Mani showed you a product that is predicated upon Google App Engine, right? So, in this case, Google is helping them bring their product to market to some extent, not entirely, but to some extent. Google has all these user events and developer events where they can participate and go to market with Google. There's some media relations, media opportunities that Google is bringing them into. Google I/O is a show. It's like a developer conference kind of thing where they can participate. So there are ways of leveraging a channel partner. A big channel partner like Microsoft or Google can give you access to your target customer base if it aligns with their customer base. And in some cases, smaller partners also may be fine as long as there is an aligned customer base. Rudy Godoy says, hello, we are building a product for the public-private service industry, notaries. I think we in a consumer market, but my partner says we sell to the notaries. Notary is a sort of lawyer entitled to give legal status to documents. They work like a business but are public service. They're building a platform for supporting digital docs and fully online service. There are no alternatives in the market right now. So Rudy, I think the best thing would be for you to come and pitch at one of the follow-on roundtables. I gave you the roster earlier. So that's essentially, I would need to understand a lot more to answer your question. But if you are selling to notaries, it is a B2B sale. I think your partner is right. If your product is something that is being bought by notaries, then it is a B2B service. Rags, please don't send me private messages. Whatever you have to say, say it to the whole audience. And if you're asking me questions about the metrics on 1M1M, how many customers do we have, we don't disclose this kind of stuff. We're a private company. And those numbers are directly related with our revenue numbers. But we have a large community of 50,000 plus people that we touch through our various channels. Rudy, I can't answer your questions without looking at the business. So you should come and pitch at one of the roundtables so that we can actually work on your business specifically. All right. So if you don't have any other questions, then we're going to wrap up for today. Again, feel free to look up the 1M1M program. We work with customers all over the world. We're a virtual incubator, and we cater to customers all over the world. Today, our biggest geographies are US and India, and then we also have substantial presence in the UK and in Israel. And then we are present all over the world, really, Canada, Estonia, in Singapore, Malaysia. We're working with entrepreneurs all over the world. I will post my India travel schedule as it becomes available. And really the only place you can actually meet me are going to be TiECon in Kerala. That's October 25th and 26th. And in Calcutta, we're going to do an event on November 1st, which is not firmed up yet. So the team is still working on the details of that event. There are lots of people involved in that. But once that becomes available, we will let you know about it. So I have a different travel right now that I'm focused on. Well, next week I have to leave for a couple of weeks, and a couple of countries. So right now I'm not focused on the India trip. Okay? But I'm planning to be at TiECon in Cochin. All right, guys, that's all for today. Good luck with your businesses, and hope to see you come and pitch next week. Some of you who are asking questions about specific businesses, try to sign up and get a slot next week, and so that we can actually work on your business. Bye, everybody.